Let's get into all the numbers, right? These are data points presented in documents seen by Bloomberg and shown to prospective investors, right, in what is an interesting period of the year. There are several of them. Just take us through the numbers.
Yeah, so we have this revenue number, which is many times what the company had reported just a year earlier, which indicates that what it is doing is trying to sell its services, especially to companies, but also consumers are buying its services as well for its chatbot Claude is working. I mean, it's up about at least 14-fold from last time. It also is clear that the company had their annualized revenue or run rate crossed $47 billion in May. From what we know, OpenAI has an annual run rate of over $40 billion, but it's important to remember that the companies calculate things differently.
I point out that there's a number of AI stocks on the move to the upside this morning. The other data point was interesting is positive adjusted operating income, which in Anthropic's case, I guess, is making everyone feel good that losses won't be infinite and forever. But the comparison to OpenAI on ARR is really interesting because we put this in the context of 2 potential IPOs. If not this year, then maybe next year as well. What's the kind of reporting on the timeline for that?
Ooh, for me, it feels like it's still a little tricky to predict that one. But what I will say is that these two reports that we've done recently, this most recent one on Anthropic, and then the other recent one we had on OpenAI, and how their revenue is increasing. If we look at them individually and don't try to compare them to each other, because as I said, with ARR at least, they're calculating them in different ways. So it's certainly not an apples to apples comparison. It looks like each company is showing investors and potential investors better information than it could have just a month or two ago. And so that could be a really positive sign for an IPO.
What about the technology side? Where do we stand with Anthropic and OpenAI and sort of the cadence of them releasing the latest frontier models and where their business focuses are?
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting to watch that unfold over the last 6 months or so as these companies move closer to a potential IPO. You're seeing them sort of refocus or focus more intently on certain aspects of the business. I think with OpenAI, we're still seeing a cadence of releases, but we're seeing less of an array of things, which is interesting, and it'll be even, I think, more clear as we go forward more this year. But we're also going to see the company continue to focus on things that it thinks are important, both on the consumer and the enterprise side, because those are both really big businesses for it. With Anthropic, I bet we can expect to see a lot more on the coding side, probably science side as well. We may see that out of both companies, both of those two things. But I think we're going to see a lot of that sort of stuff happening, this sort of coding, perhaps science, and maybe some other sort of work-related applications that we haven't seen too much of yet for these chatbots that they are hoping to sell to people.